In this demonstration, we're going to have a look at the power of Velero to backup and restore cloud-native applications, specifically those applications that are running within Kubernetes. In my particular example, I have a 3-node Kubernetes cluster. I have a master and 2 workers, as you can see there. At the same time, I already have a Cassandra database deployed. It is using persistent volumes on VMware's vSAN HCI solution. We can have a closer look at that here through the use of CNS, which is the cloud native storage product from VMware. You can see there's 3 volumes there on the vSAN data store, and you can see some further information about each of those volumes like so. However, let's go and have a look at our Cassandra from the command line. I have it deployed in its own namespace, so I can get the stateful set using the following command. I can see the pods as well as follows. I can see the persistent volume claims, and of course I can also see the persistent volumes. Very good. So Cassandra's up and running. I can actually use a command as follows to check that. There we go. You can see there are 3 different nodes. They're all up and normal. So I can, in order to actually have some data that I can verify is being backed up and restored, I have populated a simple table in Cassandra as well. So we can look at that next using the following command. So we drop into the SQL SH, and I have a demo DB database and a table called emp with some information in it. Great. So you can see there that there is some valid information in the Cassandra database. So what we're going to do now is we're going to use Velero to do a backup and Velero to do a restore. There we go. So you can see there's a lot of commands associated with the backup and restore. Now, because we are backing up persistent volumes on vSphere, we are going to use the Restic plugin in order to do that. Now, when I deployed this version of Velero, which is 1.1, which came out in August 2019, I did include the option to have Restic snapshots included. So you do need to specify that when you do the Velero deployment. So that is in place. What I need to do next is I need to add annotations to each of my pods to say that I wish to do a backup of the data as well. So this is the annotation that you need to add. So for each pod, you need to add the annotation backup.velero.io backup volumes equals the Cassandra data, and that's the name of the volume within each of the pods. And I just do the next one. So that's the annotations added. The next thing to do now is simply to run the backup. So we can use the Velero command to check whether there are any backups, and you can see there's none yet. So now what we're going to do is we're going to create a backup, and we're going to focus the backup just on the Cassandra namespace. So if I run the following command, you can see that the backup has been initiated. We can actually check the status using some of these commands here. And you can see that there's Restic backups that need to be taken as well. And you can see that that has completed already. So our backup, and we can check in our Minio S3, which is where we're sending our backups. Do a refresh on this. You can see that there's a backup because Cassandra has been successfully taken. Okay, so the proof is in the pudding. So what I can do now is I can delete the namespace Cassandra. And that will get rid of everything associated with Cassandra. So let's leave that run. I'll pause the recording and come back when that's completed. So that looks like it has completed. Let's see if well, I won't have any stateful sets, but let me check anyway. Yeah, no resources found. I mean, if I look at the namespaces themselves, you can see Cassandra's gone. One thing is the persistent volumes are not tied to a namespace, but yes, they're gone as well. So the 3 persistent volumes that were associated with Cassandra, and I can verify that by doing a refresh here, all gone. Okay, so let's hope Velero does its thing, and let's see if we can get the Velero restore working. Oh, let's try that once more. There we go. Obviously, it is from a backup that we took, and the backup is called Cassandra. So I'm going to restore Cassandra. That's just the name I'm going to call it, from a backup that I took of Cassandra. So you can see a whole bunch of things happening out in the tasks, but let me try and describe it at the same time. And you can see that there's some restores coming in. It's in progress. I can use a minus details here as well to show some further information. Still in progress. You can see the disks are attaching. Good. Let's have a look at the namespaces. It's pretty good. Cassandra is back. Let's have a look at the pods in that namespace. Yeah, they're getting there. Let's have a look at the PVCs. Oops, PVC. And of course, persistent volumes themselves. Shouldn't need to specify the namespace, but they're almost there. So let's have one more look at the pods. They should be nearly there now. Okay, just took a little bit of time, and now we can see that they have all come up. Let's go back and check here that we got our volumes back. Yes, we did. And let's do one last check here to make sure that we can get back on. What's the status? Looks good, up and normal. And let's get into the SQL. Use DemoDB as before. Well, that's there. And do I have the emp table with my data? Super. So here we can see that Velero has successfully restored our backup. Everything is looking pretty good.